Hi, I'm Rob Shapiro, and I narrated a book called Sons and Daughters by Chaim Grade. It is a fascinating book, originally serialized in Yiddish newspapers for about a decade between the 1960s and 1970s until it received, and was out of print, obviously, until it received an English translation last year by Rose Waldman, and we are truly all the richer for it. It is a sprawling, epic family drama in the tradition of the Russian novel, meaning that everything has a personality, not just the characters, but the setting, the objects, melting snow, the seasons, and everything informs the whole. It covers something both universal, which is the mores and world that parents want to pass on to their children and have their children carry on, and the desire for children to embrace modernity and carry on their own new traditions, break free. And at the same time, it's highly specific. It really details the lives of the Jews of the Pale of Settlement right on the eve of their complete annihilation. And so we, as the reader, we know what's coming. The characters in the book know something is coming, but they don't know what its actual impact is going to be and how deep it's going to go. And that makes it incredibly poignant. It is an unbelievably detailed look into their lives. On a personal level, uh, it it was fascinating to me to read this. My family comes from that part of the world. And when I was a little boy, I used to, like I think most children, I used to pester my grandfather. Not that most children pester my grandfather, but you get the point. I used to pester my grandfather for stories about what was his life like when he was a little boy like me. And he would tell me about growing up in a little shtetl in what was sometimes Poland, sometimes Russia, sometimes Belarus. Was right in that little corner. Um, that was a river town called Rafalivka, and about going to the baths with his grandfather, and about splashing in the puddles, and about how cold it would be. Um, and here is this book that is a fictionalized version of that, but that was the exact same story. A river town just like Rafalivka, this time called Moradalya, the walks to the bath, the walks to the midrash, and the tensions between, like I said, the elders and the youth. And as a result, on this incredibly personal level, my grandfather passed 33 years ago. Um, but through this book, I spent 2 kind of blissful weeks hand in hand with my granddad, walking around in his world again, which was just an extraordinary gift. And it's the kind of gift that I think only literature can give us, those kinds of stories where it's so immersive. Needless to say, I absolutely loved narrating this book. It is a marvelous, nuanced, detailed look into a lost world. Uh, Incredibly powerful, incredibly poignant, and beautifully drawn. I knew everybody in it. I knew what it smelled like. It was just a remarkable experience. Um, and I'm like unbelievably grateful for it. I'm Rob Shapiro, and I will talk to you soon.